Imagine walking into a bar thinking you're just having a fun night out, but the man you're talking to isn't flirting. He's executing a calculated psychological strategy designed to hack your emotions. Every compliment, every deep conversation, even when he seems vulnerable, it's all part of a playbook. A playbook that teaches men to treat dating like a psychological warfare. This book, The Game by Neil Strauss, started it all. What began as an underground manual is now the secret foundation of an entire industry that profits by teaching men to manipulate women's deepest emotional needs. I'm Jason Silver, the dating coach for ambitious women, and in today's video, I'm exposing their entire seduction system so you can see past any games and immediately spot these pickup artists. It all started with one man.
The New York Times called my next guest one of the most admired men in the field of seduction and the world's greatest pickup artist. His new book is The Mystery Method, How to Get Beautiful Women into Bed. Please welcome Mystery.
A self-proclaimed pickup artist named Mystery who turned human connection into a magic trick and then sold the trick to millions of lonely men desperate for power and control. But what began as empowerment for men soon evolved into something much darker, because in 2025, the game isn't just in bars anymore. It's in your DMs, your dating apps, your most vulnerable moments, and it's more dangerous than ever. The game began when Mystery, a highly analytical magician, made a dangerous discovery. What if attraction wasn't luck, but a science and a skill you could master? Mystery began studying the science of attraction, and he uncovered something radical, that human mating follows predictable biological patterns. Just like how peacocks use feathers to attract mates, humans also had hidden triggers for attraction. So he created and tested a seduction system, a step-by-step method for men to grab attention, what he called peacocking, build connection, and create attraction, with the ultimate goal of having sex with his target. And his system actually worked. Word spread in secret online forums, and soon desperate men were paying $500 to learn his mystery method in Hollywood, California. But the real explosion came when one student wrote a book. In 2005, Neil Strauss, a self-described scrawny, balding journalist, published The Game, exposing the secret world of pickup artists. And overnight, seduction became a science. The book detailed Neil's journey as one of Mystery's top students, from awkward writer to master seducer. He didn't just study the Mystery method, he perfected it, and his results were undeniable. Neil went from not being able to speak to women to eventually dating celebrities and even marrying a rock star. The book exploded. Why? Well, because it promised something revolutionary, that any man could transform himself. No looks, money, or status required, just the right psychological triggers. The game promised that attraction isn't an accident. It's a series of steps, just like a magic trick. Suddenly, every guy wanted in. The game birthed an industry, online forums, coaches, $3,000 boot camps. Men weren't just learning to seduce, they were learning to hack human nature.
People pay you thousands of dollars. This is not a joke. People pay you serious money to teach them how to pick up women. Is that true?
I'm leading an amazing life. I travel from city to city, country to country. We're hooked up in virtually every major city so that I can bring a group of guys. By day, they do the seminar and they learn some strategy.
But there was a problem no one wanted to talk about. What happens when you turn human connection into a formula? When attraction becomes a math problem to solve, and intimacy just a series of steps to follow. Well, that's exactly what Mystery did. He didn't just teach men how to flirt. He broke seduction down into a cold, impersonal, repeatable system. A psychological blueprint called the M3 model. Attract, comfort, seduce. 3 phases designed to hack a woman's emotions and ultimately get her in bed. And the scary part? This system was wildly effective. Because this isn't about chemistry, it's about control, manipulation, and triggering her evolutionary psychology. So let's break down Mystery's M3 method and expose how it really operates. This model is divided into 3 stages. Attraction, where the initial spark is engineered. Comfort, where trust is weaponized. And seduction, the final step in sealing the deal. Each stage unfolds in 3 precise steps. revealing the dangerous mechanics behind every calculated move. Get ready to learn the truth and arm yourself with the knowledge to recognize and resist these manipulative strategies. The first stage is attraction. Mystery breaks the attraction phase down into 3 steps. First, you need to start the conversation. He calls this the opener. This usually begins with a rehearsed pickup line to grab your attention and steer the chat. He might say, "Hey, quick question. My friends and I are debating, but should you floss before or after you brush?" These questions are designed to disarm you and make you feel like you're having a genuine interaction. The next step is to quickly spark some kind of attraction. In this playbook, getting you to show interest first is the golden ticket because it flips the power dynamic. If he chases you outright, he risks rejection and looking desperate, which lowers his value. But if he can trick you into chasing him, he's the prize and you're the one investing. It's a psychological sleight of hand, making you feel like you're winning him over, so he stays in control without sticking his neck out. A man does this by trying to display higher value. Pickup artists use the acronym DHV. It's when a guy shows off traits that scream, "I'm better than the average man." Think confidence or social clout or charisma. And he does this without begging for your approval. It's not about bragging outright. It's subtle flexing to signal that he's in the top 1% of men. The idea is to plant the seed that he's a catch so you're drawn in naturally. This taps into primal wiring, where women are drawn to men with high value traits. Here's a few of the ways men may display higher value. He might casually mention ex-girlfriends, places he's traveled, or imply that he has a lot of money. He might wear fancy clothes or expensive looking watches. Mystery even calls it peacocking, like a male peacock that displays colorful feathers to show that he's in fit physical condition. Mystery himself and his students wore crazy hats and wild clothing just to stand out and put on the persona of being a rock star. Men may sometimes try to bring attractive female friends with them to nightclubs to prove socially that they're good guys and are respected by women. Another move you may have heard of is called the neg, where he gives you a slightly backhanded compliment to make you seem lower value. He might say things like, "Oh, you're a Scorpio? We'd never work out." Or he might say, "You have something stuck in your teeth." Very little signals to show that he's not placing you on a pedestal and you'll have to prove yourself to him. Once he believes you're attracted to him, he can then escalate the relationship by showing you that he's also interested in you. This is the third step in the initial attraction phase where he shows you he's interested. He might compliment you without making fun of you, or start to escalate physically by touching your shoulder or your arms or hugging you while you're talking. This is all designed to move to the next phase of the model, the comfort phase. Comfort is where he builds trust and familiarity to smooth the path to seduction. It's split into 3 steps: conversation, connection, and seduction prep. Think of it as the get to know you stage, but with an agenda. He's sharing stories and moving you to cozy spots, all to make you feel safe and bonded before he escalates. Mystery claims that this phase takes between 4 to 10 hours to get you ready for the next move. They believe that trust lowers your defenses because if you're comfortable, your guard drops, making you more open to intimacy. Sometimes men will move you from location to location, even if it's just different spots of the bar, to make your relationship seem like you've known each other for a longer time. It makes him feel like he's less of a stranger if you've been to a bar, a restaurant, a market, and a walk in the park, even if you've only known him for a few hours. The idea behind the comfort stage is that women need comfort to override any risk signals that their body gets before sex with a new person. Men believe this is an important stage prior to sex. All of these prior stages build toward the final seduction phase, which is split into arousal, last-minute resistance, and finally sex. The whole phase is less about authentic connection and more about crossing the finish line. The arousal step is when he shifts from cozy vibes to foreplay, cranking up physical tension in a private location. The goal is to get you turned on. You're on his couch watching a movie. He lights candles, puts on music, and starts kissing you, whispering, "Oh, you smell great. Let's make this fun." He might pull you closer, escalating touch to test your response. The next step is probably the most insidious and grotesque step, which is called last-minute resistance. Mystery believed that if you run into a woman who stops or freezes out at the last minute, There are tactics to get her to change her mind. One of these methods is the freeze out, where he acts like, oh, it's no big deal, and he does something completely unsexual for 10 minutes, only to try to escalate 10 minutes later. Or maybe he just agrees with you verbally but continues to kiss your neck, ignoring your words. This kind of steamrolling is actually taught to men in pickup artist boot camps all over the world. In their mind, all of this leads to the finish line of having sex. This is where men feel victorious, and many often share their escapades in online forums, calling them their lay reports, where they outline the process from open to close. None of this is romance, it's all a playbook. But now you know how the game is played. From the calculated openers to the sneaky freeze outs, it's all a playbook designed to win, not to connect. And this is everywhere. The game has sold millions. The pickup artist boot camps are churning out guys armed with these tactics worldwide. But here's the good news. You're in the know now, part of the crowd of women who can spot these tactics a mile away. You're not their pawn, you're the one holding the power. So how do you catch this in action and shut it all down? Well, watch for these red flags. If there's any vibes of being too scripted or too polished, if his opener feels a little too perfect, like, oh, hey, my friend needs an opinion on his weird shirt, it could be rehearsed. So trust your gut. Real talk doesn't sound like a sales pitch. If he teases you, oh, you're cute, but you'd be cuter if, and then he starts flipping the flattery, he's just fishing for you to chase. Don't bite. Call it out or just walk away. If 1 minute he's all over you and the next he's busy checking his phone after you hesitate, that's a freeze out. Laugh it off and leave. He is not worth your time. These guys thrive on you not knowing the script, but now you do. Real connection doesn't need tricks or tactics, it just flows. So keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and don't let some player trick you. And if you want to discover more about the inside of the male mind and get supported on your dating journey, click the link in the description.